Good morning and welcome to the first of these science sessions, a collaboration between e-sgol and us at SparkLab. It is amazing that so many of you have decided to join us on this little adventure. I think we have over 180 schools across all of Wales signed up so far. So thank you very, very much for your support and also for coming along on this little journey with us. Please bear with us. This is the first time we've done anything like this, but we are super excited to get started. So yeah, big thank you. We should probably introduce ourselves. My name is Mel. It's very lovely to meet you. And this is Rhi.
Hello, bore da.
And we are SparkLab. Now, we used to be secondary school science teachers, both heads of chemistry, so both with a very big love of science, especially experiments, because chemistry was our subject. And so we wanted to bring this love of science to more students, more people. So a few years ago, while we were still teaching in schools, we decided, we had a little idea that we would try something different. We left our teaching jobs and we set up SparkLab, with the idea of bringing that love of science that we have to as many different people from all ages, from toddlers. We run parent and child toddler classes, all the way right up to going into primary schools to do workshops. We go into secondary school still, which we love. We have done some work with lots of industries, scientific industries in and around South Wales, just trying to bring their area of science to as many students as we possibly can, just letting people know the kinds of things that are out there. We've done some work with TechniQuest as well as other business collaborations through South Wales. And we are really, really excited to get started on this collaboration. So just a little bit of info about how this is going to work. It's a 4-week program. Today's session will be a little bit shorter because obviously we're not trying to do all of the scientific inquiry today, not all of the experiment. We're just going to get started on the planning, working towards our prediction and our equipment list. And so we should probably give you a little bit more about what we're going to be doing. So over to Rhi.
Helo, a croeso, a diolch eto am ymuno ni heddi. Mae hi'n hyfryd I weld gymaint o blant o ysgolion ar draws Cymru gyfan. Felly, croeso, gobeithio chi'n mynd I mwynhau y sesiynau yma. Felly, un agwedd o wyddoniaeth I ni'n mynd I ffocysu arno dros y sesiynau yma yw adweithiau cymegol. So over these next few sessions, we're going to be focusing on one particular area of science, which is chemical reactions. So what is a chemical reaction and how do you know that a chemical reaction has even taken place? So what we would like to do first of all today is to show you 4 different chemical reactions and we would love you to observe. So we want you to look carefully and see if you can see any changes taken place, and those changes can take many different forms. Also, have a think about how you would measure that change. Okay, so I'm going to start off with my first demonstration, my first chemical reaction, and that is using this lovely coloured, blue coloured liquid here. So hylif glas fan hyn. Okay, beth yw hwn yw butterfly pea flower tea. This is butterfly pea flower tea. It is, in fact, a tea that you can drink. It's not a breakfast tea or anything like that. This one you'd find in some fancy tea shops, okay? So this is our lovely blue liquid, and it's in a very large conical flask. This liquid that I've got here is in a smaller conical flask, and it is yellow. This here is, I can smell it from here, this is lemon juice. Felly, beth sydd yn I fan hyn yw sydd lemon. Now, if I was to mix the blue tea and the yellow lemon juice, I'm assuming, well, I'm sure some of you there would be predicting already what's going to happen in terms of the colour. So let's see if that is true. So I'm just going to pop that there and I'm going to add the lemon juice. Let's do a quick countdown because we love a countdown in science. So let's go 3, 2, 1. Mewn a fe, in it goes, and hopefully, oh, hang on, was anyone expecting a green colour? Well, maybe you were, but in fact, what we've got is this lovely pink colour instead. So that is the change, the chemical change there that's happened. This is actually pink because the butterfly pea flower tea is an indicator. yn Gymraeg, dangosydd, okay? And that means it changes colour with different substances. So when I added the acid, the lemon juice to it, it changed to this lovely pink colour. Maybe if I add something else, it would change to a different colour. That colour change was quite fast. So we say that was quite a fast chemical reaction, and we saw it through colour change. Now, if you worked or if you were in a fancy lab, you might have access to a colorimeter, and that's used for measuring colour changes more accurately. But we can just use our eyes. That's absolutely fine. So that's the first chemical reaction. Okay, dyna'r un gynta. A wedyn yr ail un sydd gen I fan hyn yw botel gyda vinegar tu fewn fan hyn, a wedyn bicarb yn y balloon. So this second chemical reaction, I've got a bottle with some vinegar, and I've got something called sodium bicarbonate, otherwise known as bicarb, in this balloon. Now that bicarb you might find in the kitchen cupboards at home. It's used for cleaning, for baking, for lots of different things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up the balloon, and I'm going to let the bicarb fall into the bottle, into the vinegar, and hopefully a chemical reaction is going to happen. So let's have a look. So we'll do another countdown. So let's do 3, 2, 1, in it goes. Now, hopefully you can see something happening to the balloon. The balloon is starting to expand. Mae'n ehangu, chi'n gweld bod e'n tyfu mewn maint, it's getting bigger. And that's because the balloon is filling with a gas. And that gas is called carbon dioxide. So if everyone takes in a deep breath and breathes out, you are breathing out the gas that's currently in this balloon. So that also was a fast reaction. So I'm going to move over now, and Mel is going to carry on with the next. I should actually just mention that with this experiment, you saw the change using the balloon. But again, if you were in a lab, you might have a gas syringe, something similar to this. But you could just use your eyes and observe the size of the balloon instead. So yes, now I will pass over to Mel, who's going to show you 2 further chemical reactions.
Okay, diolch Rhi. Now if I just move that one out the way for a minute. Now, my first demonstration that I'm going to show you, you've seen with Rhi there too, one lovely colour change, one where you were measuring volume of gas that was being produced. My first demonstration is probably not the most exciting thing you're going to see today. No, do you know what? I'm going to change that. Definitely not the most exciting thing you're going to see today, because what we need for it is a cup of water, and wait for it, a nail. Okay. Now this nail is made out of metal, in particular steel, which is made from iron. Okay. And what I'm going to do for this chemical reaction, I'm going to take my nail and I'm going to drop it in the water. Now hold on. Did you see anything? No, that's because this chemical reaction is the slowest chemical reaction that we could probably show you over the series of this. We've got 4 weeks though, right? We're not about to stay here for the whole time and watch this nail undergo a chemical reaction. Basically, what will happen is the iron within this will react with oxygen, and it will form something called rust or iron oxide. Now, how will we see that? What will we observe? Well, basically what should happen is over time a build-up of an orangey brown colour, which you probably will have seen on a metal fence or a bridge, or if you've left your bike outside when you shouldn't have in the rain. It'll start to rust, but it is a very, very slow chemical reaction. So unlike the ones Rhi showed you just now, 2 quite quick, probably you wouldn't be able to say much difference between the timings of those ones. This is very slow. Now what we might do, we could speed it up if we popped a little bit of salt in the water. We don't have any of that today, but maybe what we'll do is we'll pop some in and we will set it up, and at the end of the 4 weeks we'll actually see whether this chemical reaction has taken place. Okay, now how we would know, or what we would observe, is the formation of that rust, remember. Now the 4th demonstration to show you to get you to observe is probably one of the favorite things that Rhi and I do through all our workshops. But for this one, I need to use this heat-proof mat that is sat here nicely on the table, because this one involves a little bit of fire. Now, I also, being a good scientist that I am, need to tie my hair back quickly and pop my goggles on. Okay. So for this one, what I'm going to use is also a favoured reaction for magicians. If any of you are into magic or anything like that, this is a type of science or something in science that can often be used as a little magic trick. Now, it involves using some of this, which kind of looks a little bit like cotton wool. I don't know if you can see it there. And then I've got a red version here. You can get it in lots of different colours. But this is basically called flash cotton, okay? And the clue is potentially in the name. You maybe might guess what's about to happen when I do this. I'm just going to take a little piece of it and I'm going to sit it up on the heatproof mat here so that you can see it, okay? And like Ray said, we do love a little bit of a countdown here at SparkLab. So I've got my matches. So very, very quickly, this is a blink and you'll miss it. So keep watching. I'm just going to light the match. And then 3, 2, 1. Told you, one of our favourite chemical. I'm a bit sad there were no oohs here. But, oh, thanks very much. One of our favourite chemical reactions. And if I show you my heatproof mat, literally nothing left, no trace, okay? If anyone's ever heard the word combustion, the scientific word for burn, that's what basically I did there. The flash cotton is very flammable. So when I put the flame to it, it basically completely broken down and has disappeared. No trace left of it. Now, in terms of measuring, well, we might use a stopwatch to measure the rate of that reaction, but obviously it's very, very fast. We would need probably a more advanced stopwatch than this one here, because as soon as I press it, we probably have to stop it again. And obviously, whether a chemical reaction has taken place or not, we can see that it has from the fact that our substance is completely broken down. So those are our 4 chemical reactions where you should have been looking and observing at the changes that were taking place. We had some colour change, we had some disappearing, we had some nothing, but we're going to watch this space on that one. And we had some gas being produced. So every chemical reaction will have different observations. So we should probably introduce you to the chemical reaction that we are going to be looking at over the next 4 weeks. Now, the title for our investigation is we're going to be looking at the cleaning ability of some household substances. Now, what we're going to use is we're going to use some coins. Now, for this experiment, they need to be copper coins. So 1p piece or 2p piece, and they all need to be pretty dirty, okay? Now, it's not dirt that you can see on, well, actually, there will be a little bit of dirt, but the layer that you can see on the surface, that is an oxide. It's copper oxide on there. And what we can do is we can try to clean it off. And we can do this using household chemicals, things that you will find at home. So we are going to, our investigation, which liquid will be best at cleaning that dark surface of a copper coin. So in order to make this a fair test, because like we said, there are so many of you joining us for this experiment, we have chosen 5 liquids that we want all of you to test. And then we're going to introduce a 6th liquid, and that can be one that you choose. But first of all, let's introduce you to the 5 liquids we want you to do in order to do this cleaning process. So Rhea, what we got? First things first. Some milk, thank you very much. So it doesn't have to be whole milk, okay? It can be any sort of milk, and you won't need all of this. We're just going to use a little bit of liquid for each one. So milk will be the first one. We've got some baking powder, or bicarbonate of soda, I should say. Now this one, some of you may, if you're listening very carefully, have realised that I said 5 liquids. This is obviously not a liquid. Reused it just now in her experiment with the balloon. This is obviously a solid, but what we're going to do is we're going to dissolve some of this in some water to turn it into a bicarb solution, so to get a liquid that we can use for cleaning the coins. So there's the first 2. We've also got, we've got some washing up liquid. It doesn't have to be the blue variety. You can use any type of washing up liquid for this. A renowned cleaning product there, so hopefully. We've also got some ketchup, so some tomato sauce. Again, any brand will do, but we need some ketchup for this one. And here we go. We've got some cooking oil. Now, I've got some sunflower oil here, but it really can be anything. You can use sunflower oil, vegetable oil, any type of oil that we'd use in cooking. So these are the 5 that we want all schools, all students taking part in this in order to test this theory, to test which liquid will be best at cleaning. But like I said, we want you to choose a sixth liquid. So, Ray, what could they choose?
Okay, so I've been rummaging around the kitchen cupboards and I've found a few other liquids, just some ideas for you. You don't need to use any of these either, but I've got some Coca-Cola and I've got some vinegar and also some lemon juice. So you can choose one of these as your sixth or anything you want, in fact. The bigger variety, the better. Felly, jyst I fynd nôl trwy hwn, yr hylifau mae rhaid I chi ddefnyddio, mae rhaid I bob grŵp neu ysgol ddefnyddio, yw llaeth, sodium bicarbonate neu bicarb, olew, sos coch, a hefyd hylif golchi llestri. A wedyn, dewiswch unrhyw beth arall, mae angen un hylif ychwanegol lle fod o unrhyw beth o gwbl ar gyfer y chweched un.
Okay, so now that we've introduced you to the liquids that we're going to use, how are we going to know which one of these liquids is going to be best at cleaning our coins? So what we're going to do, the actual experiment, is we're going to take 6 coins, all of a similar dirtiness, so we try and find those for when we do the experiment, and we're going to submerge them. So we're just going to pop them in a little bit of each of these liquids. And then what we're going to do, we're going to leave them in there for a certain amount of time. And how are we going to measure it? That's the experiment, but what are we going to measure? Well, we're basically going to look at how shiny the coin is after being submerged in the liquid. So we should probably take a look at what we mean by the term shiny. So let's let Rhea explain a little bit more about that.
Hi, so we're going to be looking at the shininess of different objects. Felly, ddim yn at the shininess of coins. Ddim yn edrych ar y disgleirdeb o ceiniogau gwahanol. But first of all, I have a box of tricks here of different objects, and I'm going to put them in order of shininess. Felly, sgleiniog lan fan hyn, ag afloiw lawr fan hyn. Okay, so we've got shiny up here and dull down here. Dull, of course, not to be mixed with dill in Welsh, just in case you noticed the spelling there. So my first object that I have is this very lovely, shiny disco ball, okay, covered in mirrors. I think this is going to go right up on this end here. So that is definitely sgleiniog, very shiny right at the top there. Also in here, I have a rather dull piece of wood. Dull in every sense, but it's not shiny. So that's certainly going down this end of the scale, next to, there we go, next to that word there. My next, now this one is very special to me. This is a medal I got from an Eisteddfod back in the 1800s, okay, for my folk dancing. This is very sgleiniog, this is very shiny, not quite like the disco ball, so I'm going to pop it just there. There we go, that can sit nicely there, nice and safe as well. My next object I have, strangely, Batman has also come to join us today. Batman is not as shiny as the disco ball, not as dull as the piece of wood either. So I think Batman is going to sit firmly in the middle of this scale here, felly yn nghanol fan hyn rhwng sgleiniog ag afloiw. My next object, this is very nice, hairband, very shiny indeed. In fact, I might wear this for the rest of the session, if we can get away with that. Very shiny, I think it's going to belong near the disco ball and the medal. So let's pop that just here. There we go. We've got a couple more objects left to put in the scale here. So I've got a capybara, of course, okay? And sorry, capybara, you are rather dull compared to all these shiny objects. So you will be going down next to the piece of wood. So we'll pop you there. There we are. You sit nicely, or just lie down. There we go. And finally, I have the coin. So the coins that you're going to be using with that layer of copper oxide, those coins are at the moment very dull. Okay, so that coin is definitely going to be going down the bottom of the scale next to the piece of wood and capybara there. So here's just an idea of how you might classify the coins into shiny and dull, for example. So what we're going to do now is just have a look at the different stages of a science investigation. Felly, beth ni'n mynd i wneud nawr yw just edrych ar y camau mewn ymholiad ein chwiliad wyddonol. So first of all, the title for your investigation, followed by a prediction and then an equipment list. Felly, i ddechrau, teitl yr ymchwiliad, wedyn rhagfynegiad a rhestr offer. These are, in fact, what we'll be looking at doing today and by next session. Yn symud ymlaen, ydy ni diagram, wedyn newidynau ac yna dull. So then we have diagram, then the variable or variables, and then a method. And finally, we finish with the results, conclusion and evaluation. Felly ni'n gorffen wedyn trwy edrych ar canlyniadau, casgliad a gwerthusiad. Felly draw i Mel nawr sy'n mynd i esbonio mwy am y rhagfynegiad. So we're going to go over to Mel, who's going to explain a bit about predictions.
Diolch, Rhi. So, like Rhi said, there are many different stages of scientific inquiry. And over the course of these 4 weeks, what we are going to do is we're going to break down each of the different stages and work through them together to make sure that we're all comfortable and know what we need to include in a full scientific investigation. So, remembering that our investigation title is which liquid will be the best at cleaning that dark surface off the coin. What we need to do now is we need to focus on our prediction. So what is a prediction? Well, you have probably made hundreds of predictions already without maybe even realizing that you were doing it. It's basically, for instance, I could say, although looking out the window, maybe I want to rethink my prediction. I could say that I predict it is going to rain in Cardiff tomorrow. Now, what would I be basing my prediction on? Well, the fact it rains in Cardiff quite a lot. Apologies, I do live in Cardiff, so yeah, it does rain a lot here. It may not rain tomorrow, which means that my prediction won't have been true. But that doesn't matter. A prediction is supposed to be an educated guess about something that we think is going to happen. It doesn't matter whether our prediction is correct or not. It's just something that we would like to find out. What are we going to investigate? So another example of a prediction, you have to bear with me on this one, might be, say, for instance, I said there was going to be a 100-meter race. And that 100-meter race was going to be between Usain Bolt, of course, and a hippo. Now, not your obvious 100-meter race partners, okay? But I'm going to make a prediction about who is going to win in a 100-meter race between these two. So my prediction is going to be, I predict that Usain Bolt will beat a hippo in a race over 100 meters. Now that's a good prediction, but I need to make it a bit better. I need to give a reason why I think that. So I'll try again. I predict that Usain Bolt will beat a hippo in a 100-meter race because, well, Usain Bolt is one of the fastest men over 100 meters on the planet. And a hippo, it's actually quite a heavy animal. So I'm thinking maybe it's not going to be able to run as fast as Usain Bolt. Rhi, any thoughts on my prediction?
Well, I'm actually quite impressed. That's a very good, an excellent prediction, in fact, because I know you don't know the actual speeds of these.
I don't.
However, Usain Bolt runs at 44 kilometers an hour.
Okay.
And the hippo is a very close second, 43 kilometers an hour. So in fact, we wouldn't be able to outrun a hippo. Not, I don't think so anyway. But Usain Bolt only just over 100 meters. And I think if you are lucky, you might even see some hippos running across your screen right now.
Let's have a look. Oh, there they go.
Oh, picking up speed. Look at that.
I don't know, mine. I like to think I might be able to. No, I'm just kidding. Of course. Apparently, you will never be able to outrun a hippo.
Yeah, climb a tree is what they suggest.
Okay, so my prediction that I made about my hippo and the Usain Bolt in the 100-meter race, it did turn out to be true that time, but it was close. It was really, really close. So what we need to do now is we need to make a prediction for our investigation, what we're going to be doing moving forward. So today, what I would like you to do, or what we would like you to do after this session, after we finish talking at you, is we want you to write your predictions. So let's have a think of an example of our prediction for this experiment. I am going to say, if we just bring our liquids back in, just to give you a bit of a reminder of all the things that we said, these are our 5 liquids. I'm just going to make a prediction up off the top of my head. I'm going to say, I predict that the washing up liquid will be the best at cleaning the coin. Good prediction, but let's remember to make it better, because washing up liquid is good at cleaning things. So that is my prediction for this experiment. Does it matter that my prediction may or may not be correct? No, it's what we are going to investigate. Rhi, got a prediction for us?
Ie, mae gen i rhagfynegiad hefyd. Rwy'n rhagfynegu y sudd lemon bydd yn well yn glanhau'r ceiniogau. Gan mae asid yw sudd lemon ac mae asidau yn dueddol o wneud lot o bethau. Felly, dyna fy rhagfynegiad i. Go.
Okay, so those are examples of our predictions. What we would like you to do, once you have written your prediction, once you have written your prediction, whether it's in your books or on your worksheets, if you're using those, once your teacher has checked it, once they've had a little look over it, what we would love you to do, over all of these 4 sessions, they wouldn't work unless you guys are involved with us. So what we'd like you to do, if your teacher says it's okay, is we'd like you to actually send in the predictions that you write. So you can either take a photo of what you have written and send that in, or pop it on social media, and don't forget to tag us in that. We'll probably remind you again of that in a minute. But you can also send it to us in via Padlet, so as a voice recording or a video recording for us. And what we will do at the start of next session, so next Wednesday, we will open up the next session with some of your predictions. We really want to know what you guys have come up with, and don't forget to give your reasoning. So I think such and such will be the best at cleaning the coin because, and those ones will be the ones that we would love to read out next time or have a look at next time. We've also got a little bit of a challenge for you for next time. So,
felly, yn ogystal â wneud y rhagfynegiad a danfon rheina trwy Padlet ac ati, hoffwn ni hefyd bod chi'n meddwl nawr am yr offer bydd angen ar gyfer yr arbrawf mewn cwpl o wythnosau. Felly, mae angen rhestr falle o popeth sydd angen, yr 6 hylif chi wedi dewis defnyddio, a pob dim arall. So, in time for next week's session, we just want you to have a think about the equipment list, write that down, think about the 6 liquid you're going to use as well, because that would be helpful for you and for us for the start of next session.
You might want to have a discussion on your 6th liquid straight away after we finish with you here, because you never know, that might be the one that you want to choose, the one that you think will be the best at cleaning. So you might want to include that in your prediction. And like Rhi said, once you've completed that, send them over to us via Padlet. The link for that will feature at the end of this. And then you can let us know. Same with your equipment list. Make sure you have a class discussion about it. Make sure you talk about it in groups. Think about all the different pieces of equipment you might need in order to carry out this experiment. And we will definitely need to use that at the start of, we won't need the equipment, but we'll definitely be working with your equipment list at the start of the next session. So we know today's one is a little bit shorter, okay? That was always the plan. Hopefully you guys can see a little bit more, well, meet us, a little bit more about who you're working with, what we're looking to do over the next few weeks. And the plan for next time will be to work through the different stages or the next few stages in the process of a scientific inquiry.
And as you said, tag us, tag e-sgol, tag SparkLab, in everything you do. We would love to see what you're doing. I'm sure what you're doing is far more interesting as well. So we'd love to see that.
Yeah, and any questions, make sure you let us know. Drop an email or get in touch, and hopefully we can make sure that through the course of this, we answer any questions that you may have. So thank you very much. And we'll see you next week.
Diolch.
Diolch.